What's up, y'all? It's your boy, Marcus Bullock. I'm the CEO and founder of Flikshop. We have yet another edition of Marcus Ag set for you here tonight. I'm super excited to be able to have this conversation. And I think that this conversation is one of the most important conversations that we've had, specifically because tonight we're going to be talking to one of our actual customers. I'm always excited to be able to have these kinds of conversations. So I hope that you guys will join us. I hope that you guys will ask questions. If you're watching this video later, please jump down in the comments. We read each of them. I want to be able to learn from you guys. Thank you guys so much for joining us. It looks like Josie's joining us in a second. So let me go ahead and let her in. We love our customers. We love our customers, man. This one's going to be so much fun. Hey, there she is. How are you?
How are you?
I'm good. How's everything? It's so good to be connected here with you tonight on Marcus Ask.
I know. Thank you. I'm excited to be here.
Oh, this is awesome. This is awesome. Why have you? I like to introduce myself, but I never want to take the thunder away from our guests. So, if you would take 5 seconds, go ahead and introduce yourself.
My name is Joanna. I also go by Beck and Rebecca. So, anyway, I'm like you said, I'm a Flikshop customer, and I'm a nurse. I'm an IBCLC, so I'm a lactation consultant. I'm a mom. I live out in Oregon in the Pacific Northwest, so it's only 3 o'clock here for us.
Oh yeah, so it's earlier there. We're 6 p.m. here. I'm looking out my window now, and it just got dark. It's freezing here. I think it's like 32 degrees right now.
Yeah.
What is it like where you are?
It's actually a beautiful sunny day today in Oregon. My daughter and I went and walked up a big hill. It's my day off. It's not always like this. It's often very gray and rainy, and we take whatever sun we can. So
Nah, Joanna, thank you so much for joining us. It's always important to me and to our entire Flikshop team to be able to hear from our customers, whether it be because we're answering emails that come through our customer support channels, or someone is jumping in our chat on our website, customers who text us or call us. Like, we always enjoy talking to you guys because we're able to learn from you, right? Like, and not only like learn how to be able to make Flikshop better, but learn how to be stronger advocates for our family members, all of our folks who are inside. We want to be able to be there for them. And so I'm super grateful for you taking time out of your evening to chop it up with me.
Actually, I have to say that I'm one of those people that ends up talking to your tech crew every now and then. And you guys have a lot, especially when there's an upgrade and I can't figure out how to get things to work. And so I've gotten a lot of help from the tech side. It's been really good. So I appreciate it.
Well, that's good to hear, right? I mean, because we're a growing tech company. We're still really, while we've been in business for quite some time. I started Flikshop in 2012, and I went full time in Flikshop. I started doing Flikshop full time in 2018. And so now over the last few years, I've been laser focused on working with our teams to be able to deliver like the best possible product, working with our families, working with the facilities that we ship postcards to, working with some of the other organizations that we want to help connect back with to the folks who need support that still live in these cells. And so I'm always grateful to hear that folks are having positive communications with our team.
Yeah, it was interesting for you to say when you started this and when you went full time, because I actually started using Flikshop in 2016, December of.
Wow.
Counted up, I thought, oh, I'm going to count up and see how many Flikshops I've actually sent, and I've sent 160 Flikshops.
Wow.
All of them are to one person, but 3 of them were not. But so I've been, I used to. Flikshop, actually, I just have to tell you this because this ended up being a great app for me personally, because this very close person to our family, my kids, really close friends, daughter's best friend, all this ended up being incarcerated. And I didn't want him to lose connection with our community and with our family. He's family for us. And so like, we've gone and visited him. We fly across the country. We go and visit him and everything like that. But so
wow.
I would do these letters on Word and make all these photo collages. And then Word upgraded, and then my computer got outdated, and all these things. And I was like, how can I do this? The picture was really important. And we had other friends who had children who were incarcerated at the same time. And what I learned from them, how important, and you've said this in your posts and you've said this before, but just how important mail is. And they would actually tell me that, it's kind of mail time is really important. Like, people will also pay attention to how much mail you get. And
Definitely
remembered, they remembered. And to me, it was always really important. Even, I don't know, because I'm not on the inside, I don't know if if people would get envelopes or anything like that, but I'd always make sure, even in how I addressed the envelope, was really important to me. And so all of a sudden I couldn't send these collages anymore, and I needed a way to keep this person connected with us. And so the very first Flikshop I ever sent was actually about a couple in our church that had gotten married. And the next one was about a baby that had been born in New Zealand by a friend of ours, a mutual friend. And, that was like, oh, my daughter had a concert Christmas and all these. So every month I send one or two. And then I also send letters and I do other things, but this is really one of the best ways for me to be able to send pictures. And I can do it from my phone, which is really easy. And I take tons of pictures on my phone. So, and he has actually thanked me for sending them. So I know that he's getting them, So it's a good thing. And I can send anything. You had recently said, oh, what's the number one Flikshop that's sent as a selfie. And I almost never send selfies because it's not me else. And so he sees the kids. I did a photo shoot with two of my children the other day. And so I made a collage. I've figured out with Instagram, how they have the Instagram layout thing, collage and stuff like that. So I make all those little collages there, and then I just load them. I just Flikshop, so I can send more than just one picture, and I change out the stamp. And the only thing, you may have already guessed, I can be a little bit chatty. So only thing I ever have a hard time with is sticking within 300 words or whatever, or bytes. I'm counting down, and it's not there. Anyway, so I'm always figuring out how to combine and be more concrete in my writing and everything. It's good.
That's one of the same problems I have.
Okay.
There are times when I start telling stories and I'm like, oh man, I'm out of characters. And then I end up got to do part 2 of 2 on a whole nother Flikshop, and then I'll, send something else. This is so fun to hear. Thank you so much for giving us some backstory. How did you hear about Flikshop? Do you remember? That was so long ago now. It's you've been using it for so many years.
But I think I might have been on Instagram though. And it might have been that I was searching for something. Somebody might have mentioned it to me. I don't know. I know that I mentioned it. The other thing is, with this, I had started in our church because of our friends' kids, and because this person who was also a really important member of our community. I started a prison letter writing ministry. And so I think I just always kind of was trying to find ways to communicate and find ways to encourage other people, easy ways for them to also write our friends. And so I think it might have been on Instagram that I saw it somewhere, or I might have just Googled it. So I'm sorry, I don't remember.
Yeah. No worries. I'm just curious. Let me ask you, because I want to hone in on something that you mentioned. You talked a little bit about the letter writing campaign. How did you even get started, saying to yourself, all right, I'm going to start writing letters to people and sending consistent mail, not to just one person, but multiple people, and then making that commitment?
Well, it was really because our friends' kids were incarcerated. And at this, a little bit after that happened, then this other friend of ours was, and because I had learned from that family how important it was to receive mail. And, I just figured these are people, they got caught. I didn't. I don't know. It's not, who am I? And so I just started, I guess I was also in nursing school at the time. I started doing a lot of studying about children with parents who were incarcerated. Actually, this couple whose kids were incarcerated, I'm the godmother of one of their children. So it was another close family kind of thing. And I just started meeting different people, and they all kind of I even went to a support group for CURE. So I was going to a CURE support group, and more I just started learning how important it was to help people remember that they're remembered, that it would, there's a whole thing on that. The more people who receive, the more mail people receive, the more they're remembered. It can help reduce recidivism. And I thought, oh, that's a really good thing. And well, just remembering that you're a good person, and remembering that you're loved, and that you're somebody's child, or you're somebody's mother, or you're somebody's friend, or that was super important to me. And and I actually, I've like kind of gone all over with this. And one thing that I'm hoping to do at some point, I started studying about prison nurseries. Just being a lactation consultant, it's really important to me. I really love the fact that there are 11 different prisons around the United States that allow mothers to have their children with them for a little bit of time. And I just started doing these things. I was working with Head Start for in my bachelor's degree. I had a clinical, and I did a whole module for the Head Start staff on working with children who have a parent who is incarcerated, who has been incarcerated. I worked with Camp Agape and was a nurse at their camp, and those are camps that they have in Eugene and Salem for in Oregon for children of parents who are incarcerated. So I started learning just through that. And so I also shared that knowledge with my communities that I was at, and really tried to encourage, because I couldn't do it all myself. And who wants to just hear from me? They want to hear from more than just me. So I also started I'm Eastern Orthodox. So we have everybody is Christmas and Easter. So it was really important to me for holidays. So for Thanksgiving, Christmas, and Easter, or we call it Pascha, we also, in the churches that I've been at, I've started where I get everybody in the church to sign a card. So we'll mail the card in. So these men will, and it's mainly men that we're writing to. I'm part of a Bible study at the Oregon State Pen, which we haven't been able to go in because of COVID, but I still am doing a monthly reflection that I'm able to send in each month. But so the members of our group there, and then the few other people that I knew from being so-and-so's cousin, or so-and-so's friend, or so-and-so's son and daughter, I've kind of grouped them all in to this letter writing for holidays. They all get a card, as long as the prison will accept it. Not every prison will accept it. So actually that's the benefit of Flikshop too, is that I believe you guys can receive things. I know MDC at Brooklyn, they can't receive like a card, but can they receive a Flikshop postcard?
Yes, they can.
Yeah. So right there, that's a benefit, because there are some, and friends of ours, they were up in Alaska incarcerated, and you couldn't send them greeting cards. And of course, when you send a greeting card, it can't have metal on it, or glitter, or all these different things.
Yeah.
You can't write in a marker. You can't use colored pencil. You can use a pencil or a pen. So anyway.
No, this is all good stuff. I really appreciate you, shedding some light on this. I mean, one of the things I like to help point out to our customers are that they aren't alone, right? I mean, there are people all around the country who are, some of them are doing exactly what you're doing, right? Where some folks are like, they have a child or a spouse or a cousin or a best friend that's incarcerated. And then there are others that are being thoughtful about carrying that messaging of empathy, and why it's important to be able to keep some of our incarcerated neighbors connected back with one another. How has the reception been for folks, specifically like in your prison ministry at your church? How receptive are folks when you want to introduce the topic of writing people in prison?
everybody actually really swarms to sign those cards. They all participate in that. And I have several people who actually have, I just asked if people would also write to some of our members. Well, we asked our Bible study group who would like to be written to. And then those who wanted to be written to, we found people to write to them. And they were all really, they were a little nervous about it, but they were all really happy to participate. And they'll come up and tell me, oh, I heard from this person, and oh, this is neat. And they'll ask, well, what can I write? And it's like, they just want to know they're remembered. They're a person. Somebody's out there thinking of them. So relax. It's okay. You can just say, I hope you're having a good day, or, oh, I'm praying for you today, or, here.
We have so many. This is awesome. I love this. I love where you're going with this. We have so many different prison ministries, or even some of our corporate partners who are being thoughtful about wanting to create messages that they're leveraging Flikshop to use to send to people that are incarcerated all around the country. And some of them are nervous about what kind of content to put in the postcards, what kind of pictures they send, what kind of messages should they send. Do you have any advice for our partners who may not know someone that's incarcerated, but wants to just spread a message of hope and love to someone who's incarcerated?
I guess especially right now, especially with COVID, and there are so many different lockdowns and so many, visitation is up and down. Just even I see you there. You're a person. Or even, I don't know. I really think that the remembrance that I acknowledge your presence there. You don't ever have to talk about why a person is there or anything like that. It's more just, hey, today it rained. I'm sure it didn't rain for you there, but glory to God, this happened. Or I don't know. Just I think it'd be anything that can help them remember that a little poem. You can share a little poem with somebody that you really like and just say, hey, I was thinking of you today. Just even.
Yeah, this is one of the things I tell people all the time. I'm like, look, when I was sitting in a prison cell, I just wanted to know that I was remembered, that someone cared about me. Someone took the time to be able to say, listen, you're thought about, you're seen, you're loved. It doesn't matter what happened, right? Like that level of empathy and what it creates. Have you been able to hear back from some of those folks who you write to be able to receive their thoughts about what they receive from you all?
Definitely. Yes. So they usually are very thankful. Everybody's actually been very thankful. I've never had anybody say, don't write me. I've had people send me, we've had one man send he sent a donation from prison to our, because we remember, and that, is in prison, not really a lot. For him to actually step that, I was kind of shook.
I mean, he sent the donation from prison to your church.
Yes.
Because he was so thankful for the words of encouragement from you all.
Yes. Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
I love that. I love that story.
Yes.
I think it speaks to the humanity of both sides, right? Like we all just want to be loved, you know what I mean? And we all want to be cared for. This is incredible. I love that.
Yeah.
With you having a nursing background, specifically as folks talk more about COVID spreading inside of these facilities, what are your thoughts around what we're seeing around the country?
So I don't know what's going on everywhere. I check in on at OSP and I check what's going on with our friend. I know that he did get vaccinated. He was able to get the booster. He feels a little bit better about that. I think that I wish I knew a little bit more. Very thought, depending on your living situation there, you're not going to necessarily, I don't know. Some people are living in dorms. I would much rather if I were just on my own. Harder. I know healthcare is not I think it depends on where you're at, and it depends on who the warden would be, maybe. But I think it's harder because you're in a lot tighter situations and there isn't as much opportunity to isolate. And you're already isolating is kind of crazy a little bit because you're already isolated in one way. And so the whole thought of being isolated even more with COVID or having to stay away from even those people that you're having your everyday like connections with, when you're already isolated from your family and your friends and they can't come see you now, I think it must be really difficult. I know we're working harder to make sure we're reminding our friends that we remember you were there. Like I'm trying to be really consistent, and in my reflections that I'm sending into our Bible study, I'm really thankful that the prison lets us do that. I'm writing this other good friend of ours, and then I'm writing I don't know the family relation. It's his second cousin, I guess. I write to the son of one of my friend's cousins, and both of them I think are really thankful. And like I said, I know some are getting vaccinated, some are not. So I'm glad that actually allowing them to get vaccinated, that they're doing what they can to help people stay healthy. I mean, to me, that's an important thing. So I know that on our visits, we've been able to visit during COVID a couple times. And it was this last time. I know now they're having to actually do tests when you actually get to the prison to go in. At the time we went, we just had to show that we had been vaccinated or a test, and we had to wear masks the entire time unless we were eating or drinking, and we weren't allowed to have any hugs or anything like that. And I think that's a hard thing, because I think that physical touch can be really important. I feel like, can't we wash our hands when we come, could everybody not just really wash their hands when they come in and then still allow that physical touch? So I can't say that, I'm glad that they're still allowing visitation, and I want to keep people healthy.
Yeah. I mean, it's an interesting thing to wrestle with between those two. It's a terrible position for folks that are sitting in these cells to be able to be in. I mean, I lived in both, where I was in a single person cell and a 2-person cell, but I also lived inside of a dormitory environment. Either way, folks are very, very close to you. It's very challenging to be able to be 6 feet away from anyone inside of prison. And when there are a bunch of officers that are coming in back and forth from the community back into the facility, that's an entirely different issue that's being faced by a lot of these folks there. And they don't have there's no recourse for them. They can't, there's no way for them to pull back and say, I want to stay 6 feet from here, or when they're going to go get food, or when they're taking showers, or even the most intimate spaces that they have to share, like a telephone, like all of those things. And they're not getting, I know that when I was in prison, we weren't getting a bunch of cleaning agents to always stay on top of the cleanliness of the spaces. So it's one of the things I'm definitely praying for inside for the folks that are sitting in those cells, and I'm hoping for health there. Let's bring it back up for a quick second, though, before I let you go, as I'm very, very grateful for you again. As we think about wanting to accomplish our goal of helping to reduce recidivism and keep people out of these prison cells, we want to be able to make sure that we're doing the right thing and we're doing it the right way. What would you say to me as the CEO of Flikshop that I should be being thoughtful about in order to either make our company or our products better, or entirely, what should we be, where should we be advocating? Where should we be spending our time with having people that you're very close to that are incarcerated?
I feel like you're doing a really good job getting out there. I do follow Flikshop, so I see the different
Thank
things.
you.
I really, I like how you're partnering, and I think partnership with like, and when you like Boeing, I liked the thing that you posted when you're helping in Hawaii with those in Hawaii. I think getting families but just like today, having somebody like me come and talk, I suppose, is helpful. But having those of us, even
Very
challenging,
helpful.
like, I do try and tell other friends and try and encourage them. I think word of mouth is one of the biggest ways that people can get to know about a product, embrace it. So I think that's important. And I'm really bad at this thing.
No,
But
no, no. This is good. This is good stuff.
I feel like the more those of us who use Flikshop can share with our friends and share with other people, just even, hey, here, let me give you a Flikshop. You know, I can give you a Flikshop and you can send this to that person. It's really easy. Let me, you know, even if it's just a quick link where they don't necessarily, you know, I don't know if somebody doesn't necessarily have to always download an app to do something. And I don't even know if that's possible, but I know, like, I have some friends who are like, oh no, you know, I just don't want to put another app on my phone. But they go to the website and do it just from the website. They might do something like that. So I guess the other thing is making something as easy as possible to use, which I think you do. So yeah.
No, thank you, thank you. This is all good stuff. We like to be able to have real conversations with real people and get your real knee-jerk reactions, right? This is important to us, and it's not just from our customers like you mentioned, who are like Boeing and Delta Airlines and all of those. Those are amazing sponsors that allow us to be able to do great work in our community. But we always do the work for us, for our family members, the people who care about the folks that are in the cell, their loved ones. And while I'm grateful for those corporations because they're very thoughtful and they're very caring about our target population, but yeah, it's about our families. And so I'm grateful for this feedback.
Is it possible to is it possible for I don't know. I know that there's JPay, and so I know that you can email in and out. Is it possible for there to be like a reply back ever?
I'm excited about the future of Flikshop. See, Becky, you trying to pull something out of me that we can't talk about quite yet.
Oh,
But I'm super pumped about what the possibilities are with Flikshop and how we're planning on growing. But thank you for the question, though. That's definitely one of those stay tuned kind of sort of questions.
it just seems like also if people could hear feedback from inside, like, oh, I'm getting this Flikshop and I really love getting this. That's another thing too. Like, look, I got this. I appreciate it. So anyway.
No, this is good. This is good. So to all of our customers, all of our audience, thank you guys so much for joining in this conversation. I'm always excited to be able to meet our customers, real live people who use our products. We care about each one of you guys. Thank you guys so much for joining us inside of this conversation. Please, 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 please ensure that you take this conversation with you and realize that there are other real people on the other side of these prison cells. They're real families, and it's sometimes they're real communities, like whole communities. I'm super excited about what's happening here at Flikshop, that community. Rebecca, thank you so much for coming and joining us this afternoon. You were incredible. Thank you so much for using Flikshop. We really appreciate you.
Yep. Well, I appreciate you too, and I appreciate all you're doing. And yeah, I look forward to what the future brings. And I have to, by the way,
Absolutely.
actually have to tell you one thing I really also want to learn more about, and I am remiss because I haven't done this yet, but I want to do it, is I want to do the Flikshop Angels to help other people.
Oh my goodness. Thank you so much.
I do want to do that because that's where I would buy credits and it would go to other people who can't maybe afford to get them, right? Is that how
Yes, ma'am. That's exactly how it works. Our family members who can't afford to send Flikshop postcards, they can request for us to be able to give them to them completely for free. And those Flikshop credits are supplied by our Flikshop angels like you. So thank you so much for your contribution there.
Yeah. Well, I will do it. I need to do
You're
it.
awesome.
And I wanted to make sure I understood what it was. So thank you for explaining. So
absolutely. Flikshop.com/Flikshop Angels. And it'll take you right there.
Perfect.
Thank you again for joining us, Rebecca. Thank you guys for always joining us here for another edition of Marcus Ags. I look forward to seeing you guys on the next one. Until then, go download Flikshop. All right, guys.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.